improving rights to abortion is not in line with where we are as a government and, quite frankly, where we are as a society.
Hey everyone, welcome to another Rant, Sunday Rant with Voll. And today I have a question for Justin Trudeau. And my question is, what's the bigger problem when it comes to murder rates? Okay? Or death rates? Abortion or gun control? Now, you're spouting off about how every Liberal member has to be pro-choice.
In Ottawa, Liberal leader Justin Trudeau has a message for anyone wanting to join his caucus. There's no choice but pro-choice. Only candidates that adopt his stance on abortion will pass the nomination process, a process he had promised would be open. Catherine Cullen has our story.
That is an issue that I've committed in my, well, it is a tough one.
A tough one is right. Justin Trudeau says he's not sure whether he'd force all his current MPs to vote pro-choice. But Trudeau sounds more certain about his plan for new candidates. They'll only be allowed to run if they're pro-choice.
When did this evolve, in your view, into a pro-choice party?
Perhaps when they chose a resolutely pro-choice leader.
Okay. And you're making a deal out of it, like we saw in the beginning of here, that it has to somehow be related to summer jobs for students. I really don't understand your logic, but whatever. And then you're saying that that gun control is going to help with illegal weapons. Again, how does gun control help with illegal weapons? And you give a link in your tweet. Now, I've looked at that tweet, and it says of homicides, there's 223 homicides in 2016, I believe it talks about, and it's out of that 223, 141 were gang related. Now, how many of those 141 gang related were legal weapons? Oh yeah, that's right, 0. So out of 223, more than half of them are using illegal weapons, and you say Bill C-71 is going to stop illegal weapons. Again, how is that going to happen? I read the whole thing. Nowhere in there talks about preventing the sale of illegal weapons. And then you've also said, as I showed at the beginning, and I'll show it again, that no one shows their license to get a firearm. And you're supposed to be our prime minister, and you don't even know the fucking laws in this country? Every time you try to get a firearm, doesn't matter if it's your first firearm, your second firearm, or your 100th firearm, you still have to show your license. Every time. So, where in the fuck do you get this idea that it's never shown? And then here's a clip from The Rebel, and you claim to, at one point in time, to have own firearms.
In that article, Trudeau presents himself as a gun owner, as someone who registered his long guns when we needed to do that. He presents himself as someone who took that PAL course and passed it, which also means that he should have known about the requirement to present your PAL to buy a firearm or to buy ammo. Here, let me read to you from the article. It says, "Listen, I'm a gun owner. And the fact is that the underpinnings of the entire message of the Conservatives is once we know where the guns are, they're going to come and take your guns away," which is not at all part of the Canadian psyche or possibility, except that actually has happened. Anyway, later on in the article, Trudeau went on to say, "I was raised around guns, raised around shooting. We have guns up at our country place. They were registered until they were stolen in a break-in a few years ago, but it is something that is part of my life."
Yeah, you claim that they were stolen, but the fact is, you own them, which means you had to go through the process of getting a license, which means you took all those courses, you know that you had to show your license to get the firearms. So, and again, if all your firearms are disappeared like you claimed later, that, or your office claims you don't own any, the Prime Minister's office claimed that you have no firearms, then you legally know that you had to see the other person's firearm, their license, firearm license, to transfer the firearm over to them. Or are you just completely stupid? I'm going to go with the latter, and you're completely stupid. So, I don't know where you get that idea. And then, also in your link, you talk about mental health, about how that link talks about mental health. And 500, in that statistic, only 500 suicides were firearm related. Now we go over to Statistics Canada, and its latest statistics show out of every 100,000 people, there is 12.3 deaths due to suicide. Do the math of a country with 36.29 million people, that comes out to 4,400 deaths per year from suicide. A little over 4,400 per year from suicide. So 500 were firearm related, so 3,900 were not firearm related. So what's the bigger issue here with suicide? Maybe it's not gun control, maybe it's money towards mental health. So let's see. The average wait time to see a psychiatrist is anywhere from 4 to 6 months. Anyone without insurance to pay for a private social worker for counseling, therapy, the average wait time is 8 to 18 months. So maybe that's the issue with suicide, not gun control. Maybe I'm out in the wild, but I'm pretty sure that is the issue. People aren't getting the help they need. So maybe we should be putting money into mental health and trying to encourage more people to be social workers and more people to be psychiatrists and psychologists, and make it easier for people to get one off of government health programs instead of needing health insurance. I luck out because I'm a veteran, so I have health insurance 100% through Veterans Affairs, but most people aren't veterans that have a disability claim with mental health, giving them 100% coverage of all mental health related stuff. So again, maybe we should change that. And a lot of hospital programs don't have very many placements for non-insurance people. So a lot of these mental health hospitals don't even have room for people that don't have health insurance beyond stuff like, for Ontario, OHIP. So if it's not a provincial, if you don't have something above provincial insurance coverage, you're pretty much ignored by the mental health hospitals, because again, they're out there to make money. They're not there to help you, they're out there to make money. So maybe that's where we need to look at, is being there to help people, especially those that don't have insurance. I think that's the bigger problem, is the ones that don't have insurance, and that's why our rates are higher. But you're pro-choice, and well, let's see, what's the bigger problem here? So we have 223 homicides per year. So 223 people are dying from homicide that are gun related. 141 are gang related. So illegal weapons, 141 were caused by illegal weapons. 500 out of 4,400 suicides were firearm related, which, if you make it tougher for them, they're just going to find another way to commit suicide. So 4,400 deaths are suicide related. And how many are abortion related? How many abortion murders were there? That's right, 100,104. Yeah. Our biggest murder rate in our country is abortion. And it was illegal in PEI until you came along and forced them to make it legal. Forced them to make it legal. But hey, who am I to say what our problem is in this country? Clearly it's not gun control. Clearly it's not suicide rates. It's abortion. And that's my thoughts. And that's your rant for this Sunday.